Yes, I'm finally here. And good morning. Sorry I'm so late today. Just one of those days at the place where we move a lot of packages. And I'm not talking about the guys who work there. Anyway, I shouldn't even go there. Good morning and welcome to the show. It's Funky Friday. We got the funky background music. And you know what? I might just leave it up today. We'll see. I'll try to get it at a correct volume. But anyway, thanks for showing up. I'm sure you're saying the same to me. We're going to wing it. A whole lot of stuff going on. I opened a bunch of articles without even looking at them. I just looked at the titles and opened them up. So we'll see what happens. It's a funky Friday. On the Morning Night Live, Jonathan, would you play the intro, please?
Ladies and gentlemen, coming to you live from the Lucky Dog studio in a hidden location somewhere in the upper Midwest of the United States of America, it's a brother making his own way, but with all the wrong opinions. Welcome to the Morning Night Live with your host, yours truly, Dawg Knight.
Oh yeah. Well, let's stop the music. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Morning Night Live. I'm your host, Marty, also known as Dawg Knight on the internet. Hey, wait a minute. I said I was going to leave the music on. Let's put some music back on. Yes. Because it's Funky Friday. And I just feel like maybe if I just turn it down a little bit, it won't be too annoying in the background. I mean, you can kind of hear it, right? I kind of like that groove. I'm going to turn that up a little bit. Anyway, hello. I'm here. Finally, after we had some issues, and I'm doing it live. So some of these things that I'm fixing as I go along, like fixing the Streamlabs Superstar sponsor, which we do not have one yet. But you could be that if you go to pdognight.live if you want to do that today. Anyway, I'm just going to go through a bunch of news like I always do, but some of it I haven't had a chance to really look at very closely. So we'll see what happens. But of course, before we do, I do want to say good morning, everybody. First in the chat today, as often is, and very bell-worthy, is our friend Advocatus Diabli, who gets the bell. Thank you for being here. Also in the chat today, Maddie, and Rotten Corpse, and Simon Wolfwood, Ty Alexander, Selecta Boy,
yeah, boy,
Somnambule Nation, Mike Savage, Blarg, Zan Wild's in the house, Tyler F, what's happening? Rachel Madhouse, dildo. Oh. Anyway. And, no, that's someone in the chat. I just didn't blurt that out for no reason whatsoever. Also, good morning, Man Squatch and Somnambule Nation, Lord Stanhope, Septus Wolf, Richo, my friend from down under. We got a whole bunch of people here. Jay Pylon, what's up, brother? Good morning. Good morning. All right. So, I kind of, Shinzo Abe assassinated Japan, a country with very strict gun and ammo laws. The culprit used a homemade shotgun. Yeah, that was, well, we're going to talk, that's on my list today because that's, I'm going to turn this down. I don't know. How's the music level? Tell me. Just tell me. You let me know. Oh, wait. Maybe before I even do that, we got our first sponsor of the day. And since the music's already funky, we're just going to stick with the music we got. It's Funky Friday. That's why. Thank you, BBC Rentals. Is a long-time sponsor, no pun intended, of the Morning Night Live. And it says, let's see. Oh, here's the message. BBC Rentals. We are the other place that moves a lot of brown and black packages. BBC Rentals. Unless you're racist. Yes, BBC Rentals, you know. No! It's not, you little brat. Shut up over there. Anyway, thank you, BBC Rentals, for dropping a deuce in the tip jar. All right, let's get into some of the news. And let me know if that music's too loud. I can turn it down. I can't really tell because I just hear what's in my headphones, and everything's loud in my headphones. But let's start with Shinzo Abe, the former Prime Minister of Japan, who was assassinated last night. Was it last? Well, yes. Well, I guess it's today. Who knows? And may he rest in peace. I'm gonna for this one. I'm gonna pause the music a little bit. This was very strange. So there was a campaign event in Japan, and there was a guy lurking in the background. You can see it on videos. I'm not going to show any of the video today, but it was live on video, and it was captured, and it's been all over the internet. So this guy with a homemade shotgun assassinates Shinzo Abe. They take him to the hospital, and he's I don't know if he was DOA or not, but he died. And the reason, well, here, let's, I want to show you first, apparently there's news outlets in the world that just cannot help themselves. So, and one of them is our own National Public Radio, NPR, and this is just disgusting. This was disgusting. Look at what they did here, and I'm just, hang on a second. Oh, it would help if I had this. There we go. It would help if I could put it on the screen. There we go. I don't even have words for how sometimes these news outlets just can't help themselves. Here is, oh, by the way, I'm sorry, BBC Rentals, you are the new Streamlabs superstar sponsor of the day. Thank you very much. Our legacy, and this someone named Helly Raleigh just says, our legacy media is so ideologically driven on one side that it's incapable of covering news and showing respect and humanity after a tragic event. And she's referring to this NPR tweet. Okay, they're just ghouls. They just can't help themselves. Here's how they described this event. Former Japanese Prime Minister Shinzo Abe, a divisive arch-conservative and one of his nation's most powerful and influential figures, has died after being shot during a campaign speech Friday in Western Japan, hospital officials have said. Now, why did they feel a need to describe him as a divisive arch-conservative? I mean, this is less than 12 hours after the man has been assassinated. And the idea that he was divisive and arch-conservative compared to what? Compared to what? They eventually deleted the tweet. In fact, let's see here. I want to check to see now. And I'm doing this. I'm doing this by the seat of my pants, folks, because I didn't have anything really prepped. It doesn't say when they just delete it. But anyway, Soundable Nation. That is exactly right, because they are shitbags. They just are. It's incredible to me. Oh, you know what I wanted to try? I always wanted to try something here. Let me see if I can figure this out. Video capture screen label. Viewer shoutouts, display recent events. Oh, I can't do that. I got to figure out how to put the chat, like featured chats on the screen. I'll figure that out one of these days. Anyway, so here's how the AP described these. Now, I'm just going to show you two different outlets, how they described this event. Or described how they decide to cover this. So here's the AP, and I haven't gone through this, but I can guess. I just guess how this is gonna go. Their headline: Shinzo Abe, powerful former Japan Prime Minister, leaves divided legacy. Okay, now remember, he's not in power. He's just, I don't know. Did someone else? I just saw Lord Stanhope. Good morning, sir. Tokyo, Japan. Shinzo Abe was a political blue blood groomed for power, Japan's longest-serving prime minister. He was also perhaps the most polarizing, complex politician in recent Japanese history. This is the AP. Abe, who was assassinated Friday, angered both liberals at home and World War II victims in Asia with his hawkish push to revamp the military and his revisionist view that Japan was given an unfair verdict by history for its brutal past. Did he? I don't know. Oh, real quick, thank you, Select a Boy, for sponsoring the show.
Yeah, boy.
Select Boy says, I didn't think NPR could be more of a piece of garbage than they already are. Well, they've succeeded. And in fact, NPR, you deserve this little clown horn. Thank you very much, Select Boy. Appreciate it. At the same time, he revitalized Japan's economy, led efforts for the nation to take a stronger role in Asia, and served as a rare beacon of political stability before stepping down 2 years ago for health reasons. He was the most towering political figure in Japan over the past couple of decades, said Dave Laney, a political analyst at Waseda University. He wanted Japan to be respected on the global stage the way that he felt in the way he felt was deserved. He also wanted Japan to not have to keep apologizing for World War II. Abe, who died after being shot during a campaign speech, was 67. Police arrested the suspected gunman at the scene of the attack, which shocked many in Japan, one of the world's safest nations with some of the strictest gun control. Okay, now the AP's got to bring it to gun control. With some of the strictest gun control laws. Near the suspect was a double-barreled device that appeared to be a handmade gun. Abe believed that Japan's post-war track record of economic success, peace, and global cooperation was something that other countries should pay more attention to and that Japan should be proud of, Lenny said. Now, and I agree with that. Look, they've taken their lumps for World War II, and they came back a stronger nation, more in line with cooperating with the rest of the world, a liberal democracy. Now, when I say liberal democracy, I mean as in liberal freedom democracy. Japan should be proud of what it's become. By the way, good morning, Jaeger Pony, my favorite Canadian, and Trippy Liberty is in the house. Also, wait, Tex Bishop. It's been a while, but Shinzo's most controversial view, encouraging and creating incentive programs for Japanese citizens to procreate and have kids. Oh, yes.
That's racist!
Whoops. I knew I'd hit one of those buttons. Anyway, welcome back. Welcome back, Bishop. Now, then the AP continues. Abe was the darling of conservatives. Oh, no. But reviled by many liberals in Japan. And no policy was more divisive than his cherished, ultimately unsuccessful dream to revise Japan's war-renouncing constitution. His ultra-nationalism also angered Korea and China, both wartime victims of Japan. That push for constitutional revision stemmed from his personal history. Abe's grandfather, former Prime Minister Nobusuke Kishi, despised the U.S. drafted constitution adopted during the American post-war occupation. For Abe, too, the 1947 charter was symbolic of what he saw as the unfair legacy of Japan's war defeat and an imposition of the victor's world order and Western values. And yet, I don't think he was looking to make huge changes. I don't know. Biden's statement was discussing. I haven't seen it yet. I will find it though. Good morning, Cryptic. How you doing, my brother? And Chicago Mike, what's happening? That constitution renounces the use of force in international conflicts and limits Japan's military to self-defense, although the country has a well-equipped modern army, navy, and air force that work closely with the United States, Japan's top ally. Poor public support for the changes doomed Abe's push, but the goal still enjoys backing from his ultra-conservative supporters. Don't give Cochran ideas. Using Abe's death to push gun control too. Yeah, they are. It's crazy. This just putting those lines. They just want those lines in there. Good morning. Who did I see? Jethro Hetero. Abe bristled against post-war treaties and the tribunal that judged Japanese war criminals. His political, you know what? He's got to live with that one. His political rhetoric often focused on making Japan a normal and beautiful nation with a stronger military and bigger role in international affairs. He is also the driving force for Japanese conservatives' efforts to whitewash wartime atrocities and push for an end of apologies over atrocities. Supporters to his efforts to raise Japan's profile on the international stage and his proposal of a new order of like-minded democracies as a counter to China's rise, something Washington and others soon endorsed. Abe's also a big influence on current Prime Minister Fumio Kishida's policies, pushing for the bolstering of military capability, including a preemptive strike capability. Abe stepped down as Prime Minister in 2020 because he said the ulcerative colitis he had since he was a teenager resurfaced. He told reporters at the time that it was gut-wrenching to leave many of his goals unachieved. In addition to the failure on constitutional revision, he was also unable to settle several other unfinished legacies of the war, including normalizing ties with North Korea. What? Settling island disputes with neighbors and signing a peace treaty with Russia, formally ending their hostilities in World War II, which I did not know they had not already done. Okay, so now let's look at the New York Post version. We go from the AP, which tends to be leftish, and the New York Post, which tends to be right-ish. And now, again, it's a little bit different because they're kind of profiling Shinzo Abe, whereas the New York Post here is talking about what happened. Japanese ex-Prime Minister Shinzo Abe dead after a shooting during a campaign speech. Japan's former Prime Minister Shinzo Abe has died after he was shot while delivering a campaign speech in the western city of Nara on Friday. Abe, 67, collapsed and was bleeding from the neck after he was attacked from behind during a stump speech at about 11:30 a.m. ahead of Sunday's upper house elections. National broadcaster NHK and the Kyodo news agency said the former prime minister appeared to be in cardiac arrest and was later pronounced dead at 5:03 p.m. local time at the hospital, local media reported. Japan's longest-serving leader had been shot on the left side of his chest and also in the neck. Doctors at a news conference said that Abe had died from excessive bleeding and that the bullet had penetrated far enough to reach his heart. Excuse me. Good morning, lunatic. The suspected shooter, Tetsuya Yamagami, 41, was taken into custody on attempted murder charges, and police recovered a gun from him, police and NHK reported. Yamagami served in the Maritime Self-Defense Force in the 2000s, according to the local reports. Chief Cabinet Secretary Hirokazu Matsuno confirmed the shooting and the arrest, but initially told reporters the condition of the former Prime Minister Abe was currently unknown. Whatever the reason, such a barbaric act can never be tolerated, and we strongly condemn it, Chief Cabinet Secretary Hirokazu Matsuno told reporters. So there's just pretty much straightforward reporting of what happened. But, man, when I saw this on Twitter this morning, I was just like, whoa. Because, first of all, they didn't say they said the first thing I saw on Twitter was Prime Minister of Japan had been assassinated, and I was like, wait a minute, the new one, or and then they got the news reports, but holy shit. Hello, Attack Alpaca. So I'm wondering, so I didn't see Biden's statement on this. Let's see if we can look this up, because again, this is kind of a wing it day anyway, even though I have multiple tabs open. Let me see if I can find what President Puddinghead said about this. Let me close a couple tabs here first. Excuse me, not Puddinghead, Pudding Brain. I should get that right. It's very important that when I say the right thing, I say the right thing. By the way, let me do a couple thank yous first. Thank you, Somnable Nation and Hate Camel and who's this? Simon Wolfwood and Tyler F. for all tweeting out the show. By the way, you know that did you know that you right there, you are the sponsor of the Morning Night Live. The Morning Night Live is brought to you by you. Please hit the like button, share the stream. That's the most important thing. Share the stream. We're on Project 10,000. Before my 1,000th episode, I want to get to 10,000 subscribers. And there's going to be a rash of guests coming up because I'm just going to go hog wild on guests. I decided to go for broke and try to bring on some big names here. And I'm going to start making videos again. I keep saying that, but I have to now because I'm at episode 860. I only have 140 episodes to go before I have to get 10,000 subscribers. But you can help that effort by sharing the daily streams. And before, during, and after the stream, it doesn't matter when you do it. We've averaging about 15, 20 new subscribers a month, but we got to step it up if we're going to do 10,000 before the 1,000th episode. Also, if you want to sponsor the show monetarily, you can do that at pdognight.live. That's my Streamlabs donation site where you don't give 30% to Susan, which is fine. If you want to use the super chats and give 30% to Susan, I don't care. I'm proud and happy when you sponsor the show. And if you put a comment in the comment section if you're watching a replay. All right, that's the shill for the day. Let's move on. I want to see what President Puddinbrain said about Abe. So let's see. I'm going to just put Biden in the old Twitter search thing. Biden, Abe. Let's see. All right. Let's see what President Puddinbrain said. Oh my God. Oh no. Wait a minute. What is this? All right, now this is Ben Shapiro highlighted this. Here's a statement by President Biden, and I'm going to read this. I am stunned. Wait, hang on a second. I'd never put the music back on, but this might require a different type of music. Well, we're going to pass on that for now. Let's just read Biden's statement here. I am stunned, outraged, and deeply saddened by the news that my friend, Abe Shinzo, former Prime Minister of Japan, was shot and killed while campaigning. This is a tragedy for Japan and for all who knew him. I had the privilege to work closely with Prime Minister Abe. As Vice President, I visited him in Tokyo and welcomed him to Washington, but I couldn't get Hunter any new deals out of Japan, but China worked out pretty good. But anyway, back to what I was saying, as he was also a champion of the alliance between our nations and the friendship between our people. The longest-serving Japanese prime minister, his vision of free and open Indo-Pacific will endure. Above all, he cared deeply about the Japanese people and dedicated his life to their service. Even at the moment he was attacked, he was engaged in the work of democracy. He was campaigning. Anyway, while there are many details that we do not know yet, we know that violent attacks are never acceptable and that gun violence always leaves a deep scar on the communities that are affected by it. Really, Joe? Really? But the United States stands with Japan in this moment of grief. I send my deepest condolences to his family. Okay, so I'm okay with the everything about that, except what the fuck was the thing about the gun violence? That's dumb. That's pretty stupid. This is in Japan. Oh my God. Anyway, hello, Genti. And anyway, and then there's his intern tweeted for him. I am stunned and outraged and deeply saddened by the news that my friend Shinzo Abe, former Prime Minister of Japan, was shot and killed. He was a champion of the friendship between our people. The United States stands with Japan in this moment of grief. Yeah, this is a big deal because he was he was the longest sitting Prime Minister of Japan. Now this is he just did this statement an hour ago. 4 hours ago, President Trump had given a statement, Vice President Pence had given a statement, but the current president and the vice president had not. But the White House has lost. I don't know that that's unusual. Sometimes the White House has people who have to make sure that they're carefully writing out their statements, whereas private citizens such as Donald Trump and Vice President Pence are now private citizens and don't have to wait and can say whatever they want to say. So that doesn't necessarily bother me. But I'm looking at this because I'm looking at what I searched for is Biden and Abe. Matt Whitlock, this statement is pretty odd. Yes, Abe has been one of America's most important strategic partners for the last decade, including the Obama years, which Biden was loosely involved in. And Biden is focusing on the larger impact of gun violence. Yeah, that's weird. It's weird. Real quick, thank you, Cryptic, for sponsoring the show. And Cryptic, you are the new Streamlabs Superstar sponsor of the day. Thank you, sir. Cryptic says, I never turn my music back on. Hang on a second here. It's Funky Friday. How am I not doing this? What is wrong with me? It's clearly something wrong with me. Let's start with this. Let's try this. Cryptic, with a big bullet in the tip jar, says there's also a set of 4 pictures of Biden and Jill where he walks up to her all excited, and then a picture of him being told something and getting sad. 3rd picture shows him headed down and sad. 4th picture of him walking away sad like a fucking child. Is it? I haven't seen that series of pictures. Thank you, Crypto, for sponsoring the show. Greatly appreciated it. Or appreciated. Yeah, lots of people are making fun of the idea that Biden's complaining about gun violence. Remember, Japan has the strictest gun control in the world, but there are criminals in Japan who have guns, but apparently you don't hear. They don't air their dirty laundry like we do in the United States. So I don't know, man. I have no idea what happens in Japan. Couple quick good morning, Nomad.
Stop. Hammer time.
Also, good morning, Data Wasteland. Brent Hayes, GDSOB. Happy you all are here. Isn't that the one Bush threw up on? No, I don't. Did he throw up on Abe? I don't remember. I do know this is the same Abe, though, that when they were he and Trump were feeding the fish, and there was a big deal about, Trump dumping the box of fish food in the fish, and everyone went all up in arms. And then later they show a video that the actual video, Abe had done it first, and then Trump just followed his lead. China was cheering the assassination of Abe. I did not know that. Well, I can understand why, some certain countries in in Asia would be concerned about Abe's stance on the military, just because Japan was pretty nasty back during World War II, and I can understand it, but I think their relationship with the democracies in Asia have been pretty good. I'm curious about the AP line about them trying to normalize relations with North Korea again, but everyone's trying to do that, so I don't know. You could drop a wallet full of cash in Japan and get it all back. Sure, Japan is like Vegas. What happens in Japan stays in Japan. Sure. There's no private ownership of any form of guns in Japan. No, just the illegal ones. And so anyway, a lot of people ripping on Biden for his statement talking about gun violence. Now, I'm curious. And this is 9 hours ago, Trump and Pence issued statements, and the White House just issued a statement an hour ago, breaking ABC News. So it is strange. I mean, it's strange, but maybe it's not that took them so long to put out a statement. But of course, look, somebody has to write the statement for Biden. That's the other part, because Biden, if Biden's not going to come out and just make a statement in front of a crowd without having it written out for him. But people were giving him shit. Japanese Prime Minister, Prime Minister Shinzo Abe was shot 8 hours ago, and news of his death broke roughly 3 hours ago. And as of this writing, there's still no statement from President Biden or the White House about Abe's assassination. Well, within the hour, he did make a statement. Oh, here's a statement. Hang on. Let's pause the music here for a second. Here's Biden actually talking about it. Hang on a second. We'll pause. We'll fix this. Let's pull this full screen for you there. All right, let's see. Let's hear Biden. And is he campaigning? Wait, this can't be right. This can't be right. This is, what is it? Wait a minute. Before I even play this. Live now, Biden addresses nation regarding Japan's former Prime Minister Shinzo Abe collapsed during speech. This doesn't make sense. Why would he have a campaign sign out here?
I just have one thing to say.
Oh no. This is a
It seems today that all you see is violence in movies and sex on TV.
That's
But where are those good old-fashioned values on which we used to rely?
okay, that's a joke. That's not real. I was wondering, he hasn't made a statement to anybody yet. God. Oh, people are so terrible. Anyway, let's move on. What else did I have? I opened some other tabs here for some reason. I don't know why. I do, but I will, in the links today, I will have those topics in Twitter tabs open. So there's several different articles. I'll have the AP article, whatever. After the show, every day, I put all the links of the articles and videos and memes and whatever. They'll be in a single link in the description down below in the second paragraph. I update that during the outro. All right, let's see. What else do I got here? Hunter Biden is also trending this morning. Shinzo's Abe is obviously trending number one, but Hunter Biden is pretty close up there too. And really, here's the thing. Twitter does not like to have Hunter Biden trending. So if he's trending, it's organic. It's because people are actually talking about Hunter Biden. Good morning, Natasha and Kayleen, by the way, and Straight Sith Mail, and Trippy Liberty, and Trippy, you were here earlier, though, I think. Did I say hi to you already? Anyway, that was pretty funny. All right, Hunter Biden's trending because, boy, I swear, every day it's something new. And so here's some things that we've recently learned about Hunter Biden, which I clicked the wrong button. Let's click the right button here. Here's some things. This is Greg Price who said, here's some things we've recently learned about Hunter Biden. And lots of people are talking about a lot of these things. Can I turn my music back on? Is it okay to, by the way, let me know if this music's too distracting. If not, I'm just going to leave it going. Oh, so the things we recently learned about Hunter Biden. Joe gave him money that he used for a Russian prostitute ring. I told you about that, what is it, about a week ago? Also, we learned that Joe spoke to him on a voicemail about his overseas business dealings, the ones that he said that he'd never talked to his son about his business overseas ever. And then they find one of the voicemails where he clearly has been talking to his son about his business dealings. And also that Joe or somebody in the administration or somehow approved that America's oil reserves were sold, or some were sold, to a Chinese company that Hunter has financial ties to. Now, I don't know if you've heard that part yet. But anyway, meanwhile, Biden's handlers are just straight up refusing to say anything about it as they bring him to events at the White House. So, here's the thing. So here's what happened. Oh, wait, no, that's the wrong one. So Joe Biden finally, we talked about the Presidential Medals of Freedom, when was that? Was that Monday that we told you that they announced a list of all these people they're going to give a Presidential Medal of Freedom to? And guess who was sitting in the front row during this ceremony? None other than Hunter Biden, but they don't want to ask any questions about it. So Greg Price also brings up the fact that, Ducey, was it Steve Ducey? Peter Ducey? Whichever Ducey's the younger one, was asking the press secretary, well, hey, why is there a voicemail of the president talking about his son and his overseas business dealings? And she says, I'm not going to talk about the alleged materials from the laptop. Excuse me. Are you disputing that it's the president's voice on the voicemail? Well, yeah, she doesn't want to talk about it. And then also, in there, look at this. This is the Presidential Medal of Freedom. There's not a good picture of him there, but he's in there. I think this is him. Where is he at? Anyway, he's at the ceremony for the Presidential Medal of Freedom. And so anyway, let's go back into where did that go? Where did it go? I had the whole thread sitting up here, and that's not it. That's not it. This is the trouble when you do things live. Hang on. Well, I'll be darned. I accidentally closed the thread. Well, here, let's just do this then. We're just going to open a new one because I do want to show you this. And show you some of the reasons that he's trending. But some people are still, anytime you bring up Hunter Biden on social media, there are people who just want to change the subject. Let's see if it shows up here. Oh my gosh, this is just a pain in my behind. Because, oh, nope, looks like they took it down. He was right there on the front page there. Let's try it in the Explore tab to see if he shows up. Because lots of people are talking about him. Okay, Jared Kushner. See, they're changing the subject. They're already changing the subject. Let's see if he's still trending. Japan's trending number 1. He was like the 4th thing trending. Oh, nope, they took it down. Vince McMahon's trending. Don't care. What happened to Hunter Biden? Oh, they changed. Here it is. Okay, let's get into that tab because this is a Wing It Funky Friday. Hunter was paid his late weight and low maid. Okay, so here, Biden administration sold a million barrels of oil to from the U.S. Strategic Petroleum Reserve to Chinese state-owned firm where Hunter Biden is an investor. So, that company, what the hell? Where is it? Oh, and here he is at the Medal of Freedom ceremony. See this guy right here? See this right there? See where my little cursor thing's going? Right there. That would be Hunter Biden. Gotta love how Hunter Biden's sitting right there and media just acts like they can't see him. Medal of Freedom moments. Representative Liz Cheney with Senator Joe Lieberman, former Senator Joe Lieberman in the East Wing. Their friends, the late John McCain and Alan Simpson, are among the honorees. So yeah, Hunter Biden's there. So here's and Marjorie Taylor Greene's tweets: Joe Biden sold 1 million barrels of oil of our strategic petroleum reserves to CCP-owned Sinopec. which Hunter Biden is part owner through his private equity firm, BHR Partners. So what they said the other day, or yesterday, we talked about this. We said, yeah, so like 5 million barrels of that oil that they're taking out of the Strategic Petroleum Reserve has gone to Europe and Asia. I didn't realize that about 1 million barrels of it went to China, to a company that Hunter Biden is connected to. But hey, 10% for the big guy, right? He is sitting there so they can keep an eye on him to keep him from doing something stupid. Well, he did get caught again smoking crack again. At least I think that's what it was. Someone said something about that. So CBS News, CBS, Hunter Biden is under investigation for tax fraud, tax evasion, money laundering, as well as whether Hunter and business associates complied with foreign lobbying laws, particularly while Joe Biden was vice president. Well, let's see how long is this? 21 seconds. Let's see what Catherine Harris, what's her name? Catherine Harridge. Let's see what she says here.
Based on our investigative unit's reporting, the U.S. Attorney in Delaware has been probing a number of issues. They include tax fraud, tax evasion, money laundering, as well as whether Hunter James Biden and their business associates complied with foreign lobbying laws. What I can also tell you based on our reporting is that there's a lot of noise and static in the system. Based on my experience, that can be an indicator of conversations and discussions between the two parties on whether they can reach some kind of plea agreement.
Well, there you go. And, what the hell's going on here? There we go. Let's escape that. Sorry, I really got to change my setup here. That's just my own problem there. So, yeah, because the other part too. Remember, the other thing we learned is that Joe Biden may have inadvertently or indirectly funded Hunter's dabbling in Russian hooker enterprises too. That's a whole nother thing. Don't just pick the poisonous ones. Oh, what? I'm missing something. Speaking of mushrooms, I think you can buy them online now. Can you? I don't know. Anyway, revealed Biden sold 1 million barrels of oil from U.S. strategic reserves to Chinese company Hunter Biden invested in. So now, every day, now here's always the distraction. Gas prices are dropping, so Republicans are talking about Hunter Biden. No, they talk about Hunter Biden when the news about Hunter Biden breaks, which is almost every damn day. All right, enough about Hunter Biden. Let's move on. Let's see. Oh, did you see this guy? Okay, so I'm gonna pause here. So there was this, there was a guy who, he was in a bodega in Brooklyn, I think. Is that right? Here, let me see here. Let me just find this here. All right, here's the story, and I'll just go. I'm using Twitter as a guide because this person has a kind of a synopsis of the story. So a guy with a lengthy rap sheet of violent crimes who is currently out on parole for assaulting a cop decides to attack a bodega owner because his girlfriend's EBT card got declined. So the girlfriend was trying to buy something at this bodega. Her card got declined. She got mad and went out and got her boyfriend. Her boyfriend comes in, and so he attacks the guy, the attendant at the bodega. For those of you not sure, it's like a convenience store, a 7-Eleven, but they have these little mini stores all over in the corners in New York City, right? So the bodega owner, cornered by a man much larger than him, grabs a knife and stabs him in desperate self-defense. The attacker's girlfriend joins in and stabs him in the shoulder, the bodega owner. The attacker dies in the hospital after the altercation. Well, now the bodega owner is charged with second-degree murder and sent to Rikers on $250,000 bail, exactly half the $500,000 bail requested by progressive DA Alvin Bragg. So the DA in New York City, because this guy is attacked, it's all on video, is charging the bodega owner with murder. No charges for the attacker's girlfriend, despite assaulting him with a knife and instigating the entire incident from the start. The bodega owner's family starts a GoFundMe for legal fees, raises $20,000, but GoFundMe, who are complete shitbags, shuts it down, and presumably they lose all his money. Somebody make it make sense. Now, this person says, what an obscene miscarriage of justice. Not only do progressive DAs create these situations by encouraging recidivism through steadfast refusal to prosecute crime, they will also mobilize to ruin your life in the event you have to defend one of these emboldened criminals. This is the same DA's office who barely a month ago offered a plea deal which let somebody off with only 1 year of prison already served at the time of sentencing after her and a group of others stabbed an Afghanistan veteran to death in cold blood and nearly killed his father. Or how about the one where a man with 21 arrests decides to rob a TJ Maxx store and the DA issues an affidavit intentionally omitting the fact that the guy was threatening employees with a pair of scissors so that they could try to charge him with a misdemeanor instead of a felony. Here's another one where a gang member, here we have a gang member who is arrested for stabbing a guy. He is held in jail for 3 days but let out after the DA neglects to present the case to a grand jury. Literally 7 days after being freed, he stabs another person and is again freed without bail. This is this Alvin Bragg in New York City. This last one bears resemblance to this now well-known story where, these are in other cities too, where Philadelphia's progressive DA helped free a carjacker who then went on to murder a leftist Twitter poster while attempting, you guessed it, another carjacking. So, often when these people do actually get prosecuted for their crimes, the crime in question would have been completely avoided had they just been prosecuted for previous and sometimes less severe crimes. For example, if we simply arrested this man and charged him for randomly assaulting people on the street instead of continuously letting him free without bail, he may not have had an opportunity to follow this woman up 6 flights of stairs and brutally murder her in her apartment. There's just case after case after case. So this thread's pretty crazy. So anyway, and then there's people like, so here, the Manhattan bodega worker charged with murder, woman who didn't have enough money to let her for her item, went to the car, got her boyfriend, who then came behind the counter to attack the clerk, and then Jose Alba cut the man up and is being charged with murder. Here's what you get though. This is probably the mindset of the DA too. The old man's life was never in danger. That's why he got the murder charge. Wait a minute. How do you know what that man was feeling as he's being attacked by some guy beating him up in the bodega? He has, you know what? If someone attacks you, you have the right to protect yourself. It's unbelievable. Anyway, so that's one of the big stories from yesterday, that they're charging the guy with murder, second-degree murder. It's insane. All right, let's get into a few I don't have any time today. I forgot how late I was. I got a whole list of, well, look, I have tons of news that'll be in the tab that I'm never going to get to, but let's just get through what we can, and then we'll call it a day. By the way, how's the music? Is the music distracting or is it working? I don't know. I haven't done Funky Friday music in so long. You just have to let me know. By the way, 38 people here, 21 likes. Hit the like button while you're thinking about it. While I said it, because I'm reminding you. So hit the like button. All right, let's get into a couple articles, and we're going to go through these kind of fast. Apparently, so I don't know if I told you this story, but if you know the story of Emmett Till, in 1955, Emmett Till was visiting Mississippi, some relatives in Mississippi from Chicago. And there, at some point, some woman claimed that he was like 15 or 14 years old, claimed that he was that this boy whistled at her and went and told her husband. Her husband and I think a cousin or something went and lynched Emmett Till, killed him, and threw him in a river. And at some point in the case, the two idiots were acquitted, right? Then it was many, many years later, the woman eventually admitted that that what she told her husband had never happened. No one ever really went to justice for it. And now this woman is living, I believe, in a nursing home in, I want to say, North Carolina somewhere. Well, and apparently it was found out that there actually was a warrant for her arrest in the 80s that was never executed. So now, apparently, some protesters have found out where she is, and apparently she's in a nursing home somewhere. And so, I think it was a couple days ago, Emmett Till protesters descend on senior living site looking for woman tied to the case. Now this is, boy, not merely Lynch. He was brutally beat. Absolutely. I have mixed feelings about the way this is going down, but here's what happened. Dozens of protesters searched for the woman accused of sparking Emmett Till's lynching, including some who even entered a Raleigh senior living center after decades-old arrest warrants was found last week in the case. Demonstrators on Wednesday wanted a face-to-face with Carolyn Bryant Donham, now in her 80s and living in North Carolina, according to WRAL. Till's family and supporters making a renewed push for her arrest after the 70-year-old warrant against her was found in the basement of a Mississippi courthouse last week. Donham, who is white, was accused of claiming Till, who was black, made improper advances and obscene comments while she worked the register at her family's Mississippi store in August 1955. Till allegedly whistled at her, an action that violated a racist code of behavior in the Jim Crow South. Donham then told her husband about the alleged encounter. 2 nights later, husband Roy Bryant and his half-brother kidnapped Till, 14, and beat him brutally, shot him, and threw his body in a river. The 2 men were acquitted at a trial, which is fucked up. Decades later, the protesters want to see Donham turn herself in. First, the group went to a North Raleigh apartment, which they thought was her last known address, WRAL reported. Then they descended on a senior living facility, with one protester reportedly saying, "Time to face your demons, come on out." Some demonstrators even went inside as bewildered residents watched, WRAL reported. Local police showed up minutes later, and the center was placed on a brief lockdown, according to the outlet. I do understand that Mrs. Bryant is in her mid to late 80s, but understandably, this is a crime she committed when she was 22 years old. 60 years later, it's time for her to be held accountable, one protester told WRAL. The warrant was reported back the warrant was reported back then when it was issued, but never served, with a local Mississippi sheriff telling reporters he didn't want to bother her as the mother of 2 young children. You can't ignore this. That is the reason why the warrant needs to be served, and it will help create change. It's Till's cousin Priscilla Sterling. If this is what's needed to do for us to change our mindset, our behaviors and attitudes in society, then this will do it. This will do it. Execute the warrant. The Justice Department closed an earlier investigation into the case last December with no charges filed, and demonstrators will keep looking for Donham, according to WRAL. Now, here's the thing. Leave the woman be. She will get her time in hell. I have complete mixed emotions. I'd love to hear what you think about this. I'm seeing some opinions here. Shocks me how easy it is to find people information in the USA. Well, there was a warrant, so they knew her name. So if you I'm pretty sure it's not that hard to find anyone in the world if you really want to anymore. Will she get arrested? I do not know. I think it would be. I don't look. Here's the thing. I'm not in favor of the protesters chasing her down, and harassing people in nursing homes and stuff. But I think that warrant probably should be served, and she should have to face some justice for that. But I don't know what, who knows? I don't know. I have no idea if there's statutes of limitations. I don't know if there's But yeah, what she did was so wrong. And she probably is an accomplice. Well, she's not even probably. She's an accomplice to murder, and never actually. There was never justice served. Do I believe protesters should be tracking her down and filing into a nursing home and whatnot? No. I don't. But if they do find her, they certainly need to. They should contact authorities. I don't know. I'm torn because it was such a brutal thing. But who knows? Do you say? Let's put it this way. Do we stop tracking down war criminals from multiple years past? We don't. We follow up on war criminals. So, no, I'm not. Okay, what will her death serve? Will the braying mob be? I'm assuming you mean satisfied. No, I don't care about the mob. I think the mob needs to stop. I don't think the mob should be running into a nursing home because she might be here. Let's all go here. I don't. That's not the point. But I don't know. She was never. Let's see. Arresting her is one thing. A mob going in and going after her is another. Yeah, that's his thing. If they find her and arrest her, they serve the warrant. I have no problem with that. Anyway, all right. Let me get a couple more in here. But like I said, all these tabs that I have ready are there'll be a lot of news that you're never going to know that I was going to talk about today. Bloomberg host calls Biden shockingly naive to White House advisor's face. Oh my. White House economic advisor Heather Bauchi was grilled Thursday about President Joe Biden's plan to bring down prices at the pump while on Bloomberg surveillance, which is a show on Bloomberg. Bauchi was discussing rising gas prices when co-host Jonathan Farrow asked about the White House's messaging on gas companies. Quote, the president over the weekend said this, my message, well, let's see, they have a clip. I'd rather play the clip. How long's the clip, though? Let's see if they just have the relevant portion here. Give me a second. Oh, looks like they're going to have an ad. This might be my last thing today because I don't have time for this. Oh my God! You can skip this in 7 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1. Please close ad. All right, let's see what this. Oh, there's two. Well, let's.
To democratic institutions on the ground in workplaces all across the
Keep hearing
United
that word
States.
fair, and you and I have had this conversation before. It sometimes makes it sound like something nefarious is happening in certain places. The president over the weekend said this, my message to the companies running gas stations and setting prices at the pump is simple. This is a time of war and global peril. Bring down the price you are charging at the pump to reflect the cost you're paying for the product, and do it now. Jeff Bezos came out and tweeted the following.
That's naive.
Inflation is far too important a problem for the White House to keep making statements like this. It's either straight ahead misdirection or a deep misunderstanding of basic market dynamics. I'm not going to accuse you of the latter. I want to talk about the former. Where's that messaging coming from?
The president has made clear that his number one goal is delivering for the American people. We are in a time.
What does that mean? His number one goal is delivering for the American people. That's just a slogan. Shut the fuck up. Anyway.
Crisis. We are in a time of war where
we're in a time of war. No, we're not.
allies...
No, we're not. We are not in a time of war. There are wars going on all over the world, and we are not a part of it. We are not in a time of war. There's a time of someone else's war. There's a war in Ukraine. There's a war in Syria. There's a war in Yemen. None of those are our wars. Shut up about we're in a time of war. Okay, is that war affecting gas prices around the world? Sure, but we are not in a time of war. Okay, shut up. I hate that line. Come on. Why did this freeze? Did this just freeze on me? I want to hear them call her naive.
We are supporting the Ukrainian people. Congress is engaged in this effort. Both sides of the aisle to say this is an important priority. And one of the consequences is this high price of oil because of global trends.
You didn't answer his important question. Everyone, Heather, everyone in the nation wants to know the answer to the question Mr. Farrell just asked you, which is who is advising the president on shockingly naive price theory over a gallon of gas?
So the president is not shockingly naive.
He's ridiculously naive.
In this moment of global crisis in terms of energy, and he is using the tools at his disposal to make sure that the prices that people pay at the pump are fair. So what we know in oil prices is that the prices can rise very quickly. It can take a long time for those prices to recalibrate and to come back down. And he's saying do that faster. You have the capacity to do so. You're making profits. But the important thing is that he's using the tools at his disposal given this very challenging situation.
Is this central planning now? Is that what this has come to?
How is that central planning?
Are we going to sit here and decide what's fair, what's not fair, and then go on Twitter and say this is unfair, bring the prices down?
They're asking the right questions.
Or is it not markets? Is it capitalism or is it central planning? Where's this White House going?
One of the things that the president has prioritized is understanding the way that concentration across markets has affected the American people and is affecting markets. We know when there are very few players, this is Econ 101. You know when there's a monopoly that there is more price-setting power. And that's one of the things that we know about what's happening.
Price-setting power?
101.
They just told you this is that you can. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. Okay, you can if you want to read the article, it's there. Let me just tell you what's in the tabs because there's a lot of good stuff going on, or not. I wouldn't say good stuff. Here by law, this is about that bodega worker Jose Alba. An opinion in the New York Post. By law, the actions of the accused New York City bodega worker Jose Alba are justified. New York, as in all states, citizens have a right to defend themselves against an attack. We call it justification defense, and it must also be disproven by the prosecutor at trial once it is raised. So, look, any jury who sees the video of that is going to be like, yeah, he was protecting himself. And if the guy, yes, you know what? Hold on a second. In the immortal words of Ivan Drago, if the man who attacked Jose, what's his name? Alba, attacks him, and Jose Alba defends himself with a knife, if he dies, he dies. That's what Ivan Drago would say. If he dies, he dies. Yes, because you know what? What is that? What's that phrase? Fuck around and find out. Yes, that's what he did. And sorry, don't attack somebody who might, who's going to defend themselves. Anyway. Thank you, Select a Boy. Yeah, boy. Dropping another 10. Thank you, sir. Very, very kind of you. A price-setting power. Good God, how clueless is this woman, right? We don't have no price-setting power. And I don't know if she was talking about, look, those gas stations, they ain't making much off that gas they're selling you. And that's what Biden was trying to say, the people who run these gas stations, you can lower the price and make it work better for the American people. No, the lack of the naivety and lack of sense that they make. Anyway, other things, and thank you again, Select Boy, for sponsoring the show. Appreciate it. Other things, the recall Gascon, the L.A. County Attorney, what's his name, George Gascon, they've submitted 700,000 signatures to the L.A. County Registrar, so that recall effort might be coming along well and good, because Gascon's not only these Soros shitbags. I should make a T-shirt, Soros's shitbags, and put all the shitbag DAs. A replacement has been named for ousted San Francisco DA, another Soros shitbag. San Francisco London Breed tapped a former prosecutor who campaigned against ousted District Attorney Chesa Boudin to replace him in San Francisco while telling voters Thursday there's a lot there's a lot of work to be done to hold offenders accountable in the liberal city. Well, let's hope that Brooke Jenkins does a better job than that asshole. Also in the tabs, there's an article from the Federalist who's just, what would deter more shootings than red flag laws? Executing mass killers quickly. Yes. At some point, the public hangings would probably scare people from doing that shit. I don't know. That's an article in. I don't know if it's tongue in cheek or not because I haven't read any of these yet. I didn't have time this morning. In Daily Caller today, exclusive clinic funded by Biden administration is still distributing crack pipes to addicts outside of school. Yay! Way to go, Joe Biden. There you go. A harm reduction clinic that received grant funding from President Joe Biden's Department of Health and Human Services is distributing crack pipes to addicts in New York City, the Daily Caller confirmed Wednesday. New harm reduction educators are part of On Point New York City, and they were awarded nearly $400,000 in grant money from the Biden administration in May to further its services for drug addicts. Government records show Biden officials denied reports that the grant money could fund distribution of crack pipes, but a visit to New York HRE's office revealed that the organization still offers the smoking paraphernalia to addicts. Well, we're not giving away crack pipes, and apparently this they said this one's near a school, so you can read the whole article in the Daily Caller. In legal insurrection today, New York Times says be afraid of far-right Latinas like Republican Mayra Flores. Remember Mayra Flores, the Mexican-born new member of the House of Representatives from the southern tip of Texas, just the tip. Well, she's a Republican, and she's fairly conservative, and she grew up in the United States. She's a U.S. citizen. Anyway, the New York Times has finally recognized Mayra Flores, and naturally they did it in their own special way. The rise of the far-right Latina.
That's racist!
Oops. So here's how their story starts. For years, Texas Republicans tried to win the Hispanic vote using the Bush-era brand of compassionate conservatism. The idea was that the moderates' touch and a softer rhetoric on immigration were key to making inroads with Hispanic voters, particularly in Democratic strongholds along the southern border. Such was the Texas of old. The Trump age has given rise to a new brand of Texas Republicans, one of whom is already walking the halls of Congress, a far-right Latina. Representative Maya Flores became the first Republican to represent the Rio Grande Valley in more than a century after she won a special election last month and flipped the congressional seat from blue to red. She also became the first Latina Republican ever sent to Texas by Congress. Her abbreviated term lasts only through the end of the year, and she is seen as a long shot to win re-election to a full one. Really? Why? Now, here's the thing. And you can read the rest yourself, but yeah, so they have a big old scare article for okay, I want to give the New York Times credit here, though. I'm sorry, I'm kind of discombobulating my thoughts, but I want to give them credit for one thing. They didn't call her Latinx or Latinx or whatever that stupid idea is. And but yeah, here's their the article, The Rise of the Far Right Latina. She's one of three Republican Latinas vying to transform South Texas politics by shunning moderates and often embracing the extreme. Oh, I'm sorry this is happening to you, New York Times. In the Daily Wire, Musk take potentially drastic action as Twitter buyout is in serious jeopardy. Twitter is making major cuts. So apparently there are way more fake accounts on Twitter than is making Elon Musk happy. So they're making some moves. You can read about that. Let's see. Also, let's see. Oh, you know, I'll get into this one later. You know what? I'm just going to call it a day, guys. There's a whole bunch of other articles in here and some that I want to get to. I may use an extra session of the Morning Night Live or whatever to get through some of these other ones. So I'm just going to I'm not going to tell you about them. If you want to read them, you can. They'll be in the tabs. If not, well, I just got to, hopefully I'll do another show where I can get caught up in some of these things. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, that has to be it for today because I'm running out of time. I got to be at my other gig. So thank you for being here. Thank you to our sponsors, Select a Boy, Cryptic, and BBC Rentals. And Cryptic, you're the Streamlabs Superstar sponsor of the day. But Select a Boy, I do want to recognize you for your very generous contributions today. Also, thanks for everyone who showed up today. Rod Line, I just saw you there. Hello. So I'm normally here Monday through Friday, 10 o'clock Eastern, 9 o'clock Central, but I'm probably going to do an extra. I don't know when. Just watch your notifications. If you don't have that bell clicked on your subscribe button, do that now, or follow me on social media. I'm Dawg Knight, which is how do I do it? I don't even know where it is. Right there. Dawg Knight. I'm Dawg Knight on most social media. If you're down on Twitter, I'm also on Gabs, Minds, CloudHub, Parler, Getter. I'm not on Truth Social yet, but I think I might get on Truth Social just because Gavin Newsom is on Truth Social and I want to troll him there. Anyway, thank you all for joining me today. I hope you all have a nice weekend. My plans are pretty light this weekend. I think we're going to have some friends over and hang out by the pool. And then Sunday, Laura and I might do a daycation to some small town not too far from where we live. So that's what's going to be. And we also might do a trail stop stream tomorrow. We talked about that. Anyway, we'll see. Watch your notifications. Check your social media if you're following me on social media. That's it for today, people, but I do got to go. Thanks again, everybody. My name is Dawg Knight, and I'm out of here. Bye-bye. Hey, this is Dawg Knight, and thanks for watching today on the Dawg Knight Channel. If you have an observation or remark you'd like to make about this video or my channel, I absolutely welcome you to write it in the comment section down below. I really look forward to hearing from you. And before you go, if you like what you saw but you're not already subscribed, please make sure you hit the subscribe button and definitely click that bell that pops up afterwards so you'll be notified when I post new videos or when we go live. I broadcast my live show, The Morning Night Live, Monday through Friday at 10 o'clock Eastern, 9 o'clock Central. A special thank you to all the supporters of this channel who share our videos on social media and who make donations through Streamlabs, YouTube, Venmo, and Cash App, which are all linked in the description down below. Thanks again, and until next time, I'm Dawg Knight, and I'm out of here.